Hey there, my fellow Yomi worshippers, and welcome back to, unscripted video. Yep, we're doing one of these again. I came up with another topic to go and talk about today. So, yeah, before we really started, if you happen to be a big fan of, like, I don't know, like, fucking around on Roblox, go join Chill Clan, okay? We're looking for new members. I'm sure that a High Priest, our beloved, Item Asylum guy, would really appreciate more silly idiots to go and farm in a silly private server. Not really, we just like to have a whole bunch of fun over there. So, if you want to, go ahead and do that. And, I guess subscribe if you really want. I mean, there's no real reason why you should. I don't particularly care, man. I mean, like, I kind of like having this low amount of, like, subscribers, you know? It feels nice. It doesn't burden me with too much. It can at least worry that, not as many people are randomly being influenced as me. I mean, as bad as, like, I don't know, some other people out there. But, like, the internet is sort of like that anyway, so you gotta take it wherever you can, right? Also, just for the sake of doing something funny, instead of, like, leaving it till the end, which I absolutely freaking love to do, because, I don't know, I like having my point across, like, almost immediately. Anime Recross is right there. You can go check it out, and if for some odd reason you happen to go and agree with whatever I'm about to go and say, like, later in the video, or, like, say, you already somewhat agree with, whatever I'm doing. You like me not trying, I guess? But trying in other places? Like, I don't know, having profound, like, stuff to go and talk about. Well, go ahead and go look at it. Like, seriously. Like, I believe that, more self-preservation, preservation in general, not self-preservation, man. Like, I think we're already doing that perfectly fine. Preservation of games, it's pretty cool, and I think you would pretty much enjoy what I'm trying to go and, like, peddle here. Not for any money, of course. I mean, like, why would I do that? Why would I do that? Why? Okay. Now that I got all the stuff out of the way, we can finally get to the point without, like, me going on about random. So, critical thinking skills. Do you think they declined in the past while? Like, you've seen a lot of people use, like, weird fallacies and, like, other stuff to go and, like, make sure that the person doesn't seem legitimate rather than actually addressing the point involved. Like, you notice how that's, like, a thing now? Like a big thing? Like, not only in just, like, average debates, not, political stuff, or just pretty much anything on the internet. And, you have, like, a person making a really, really good point. And all of a sudden it's like, bro, just insert thing here. And all of a sudden, woo! All credibility gone. That is kind of what I'm talking about. And oh yeah, also, intellectual property theft and all kinds of that silly stuff. But let's, okay. How am I going to structure this? Okay. So, I guess we go and talk about, basically, we're gonna have, like, the erosion of creative and also, intellectual thought, like the very first part, and then we're gonna have the second one be about an overall just, people being not as creative as, like, we all like to think we are. And I hate to say it, it's kind of true. I mean, how many people do you see come up with, like, 100% cool original ideas that, like, don't have as much iteration as, like, anything else nowadays? Like, anyway, we'll get to it when we get to it, okay? Um, I'll have a point somewhere, I promise. Okay, so just don't click off, okay? Okay, erosion of thought. Let's go straight into what I probably think. No, not what I think. What is probably actually happening right now. You see, there's more information than ever on the internet. You can pretty much learn anything you possibly ever could want to. You could go and look up anything you could potentially ever want to. You could even get things without even having to pay for them first. Isn't that wild? And I kind of made a bit of a point of it, but you see, we got all this neat stuff. All this wonderful sources, all these Google searches, all the Bings, and all the knowledge we could possibly ever learn, but human attention spans are kind of dumb in a way. We want our answer. We want it now. Give me the dumb answer. We want instant gratification. Instant gratification. And, people don't really think too hard about the future unless it's like they have experienced what the future might end up entailing in a way. I mean, like, you ask, the average kid in, like, ROBLOX. They don't really see the problem with everything being a fucking gambling simulator. Because, like, it's been there since they happened to get on the platform. But if you ask, I don't know, people like 2 times this old, potentially like 16, 17, 18-year-olds, they're gonna think it's probably fucking cringe. And I know they're probably in their own kind of like weird gambling hell because like nearly every facet of like free games or like gacha or like gambling or trading involved now. Like everything has to go be like economized, and that's sort of the point. And companies like to go take advantage of us wanting simple answers to complex problems, or they don't want us knowing about the simple solution to such a thing if that exists, and they want us to buy their solution. They want us to do that. And this might be a government. This might be, I don't know, a company willing to go and sell information or something. Maybe it's like LinkedIn and people. What matters is that they need us dumb so that we can go and work in the factories or work for other people for basically nothing. And without, like, soul or anything. Like, you don't want to be there. You just be there because you want the money. And, when people end up on their break, or say they end up going online, they don't want to see other people actually struggling. Because then, oh boy, they aren't as special anymore. Like, some people actually do want to go see that. But then, that's kind of like a psychopathic trait, now that I think about it. Yeah, that's a bit rough. Anyway, so what ends up kind of happening is that because people aren't really, talking to other people as much, because the internet has basically allowed us to connect in all kinds of special ways, we become more lonely. We don't talk as much. Outside of, like, I don't know, school. Outside of other things. We don't do sleepovers anymore. We don't generally do activities that would cause people to have better social skills, better judgmental skills, and better critical thinking skills. That when it comes up in school, it seems like a fucking foreign concept to them. I mean, to kids, or, like, other people. It seems like this outlandish freaking thing that, hey, maybe understanding the other side and actually looking into what they're trying to do is a good thing. It actually strengthens the argument if you're more reasonable and understanding of the other points. But you know what I end up, learning and English, right? You have to bash the other person's opinion as much as possible, even if you understand the points. And that's idiotic. It's fucking stupid. Humans are not that fucking, easily changeable. Like it's not a propaganda minister thing. Like people don't like to go and change their mind about things. In fact, you probably already set this position if you already found me. Like you already have an idea of what goes and what doesn't, and just general thing. Sorry about that. I had to go and dust something off. Basically, just they end up, using grade school level arguments as like legitimate things. It's just grade school arguments. Just, he said, she said, and also, your mom, and all kinds of other things. But it's advanced since then. Now we just do the bro is trying to insert this, or, blood doing something else. And, all kinds of stuff like, didn't you do this? And other kinds of, kind of idiotic ways of discussing subjects. And because of that, we kind of eroded our free will, or ability to think freely, and freely, in a sense. Fuck's sake, me. Why are you having so much trouble with this? The concept of, a free thought is something that, people say you have to train in order to go get that way for a lot of people. Some people just have it. Some people, can learn it pretty easily. While some people, they just don't. And that's kind of unfortunate. And it kind of sucks that we end up seeing more of that effect with people being online more and more. People finding insecurities to go and find online. And also issues that make them all panicked. So when they panic, they can't really think all that well. So they do more engagement. They fall for more rage bait. They also sort of make sure that they don't ever change that mindset. Somebody else will come in there and tell all of them, but they don't want to. They don't want to listen, and they just want to be in their tiny little trap bubble. They love their bubble. They love the bubble. The bubble looks nice and safe. Nice and comfy. They got a nice sofa. They have plenty of people that they already like in there. And, I think we all somewhat fall for it. We all fall for it to some extent. For example, I have different opinions about different anime that other people may not even agree with whatsoever. Does it bother me? No. It shouldn't bother you. Don't worry about what other people think, man. But if you're, trying to go and, have a discussion with somebody, and they bring up the point of, hey, don't you like this? And try and use that to go invalidate your opinion, then, well, that's not really a discussion now, is it? It's meat in writing contest. Who can go and make the other quit before they do? And it's kind of common discussion nowadays. Everybody wants to go and see who's better, LeBron or Jordan, and some people might say something really intelligent. Other people just basically stick the same things in an echo chamber over and over and over and over and over and over again. And sometimes it's a popular opinion. Sometimes it's an unpopular opinion. And heck, I even realized this myself. I was just randomly sitting there one day, and I thought about the 2016 Ghostbusters movie with, the female cast, basically doing a lot of the same things that people would end up doing in the 80s, for example. Oh, they kind of modernized it, which is a little weird. Either way, it's it's been offensive. That's what I really I gotta go and say. It's like not really good, not a good Ghostbusters at all, but like it's still an alright movie. I mean, and like just remove it from the whole thing, and it's still something you could probably show to a woman. But you see, it caused a thing where everyone on the other side thinks you're a fucking idiot if you're, doing it. Like, you happen to enjoy the movie, everyone happens to be misogynist if they don't like it. If they happen to go and hate the movie, you just want a woman to actually, love you in your life. Like, basically that kind of stuff. And it's retarded. I'm sorry to say this, it is the most brain-dead thing you could possibly ever imagine, and the result of such a wide divide, and resulting in a movie, a parody movie, in a sense. I think, like, Lady Bits or something? I don't really remember what that it is. It's basically a conservative version of that, but it suffers from the Waluigi effect. If that particular Ghostbusters movie didn't exist, what the hell would there even be to inspire off of in that? It's a mockery of a parody. Or rather, a parody of a parody. Like, it's in the same way that, I know I ended up saying this from somebody else's video, which, by the way, you should probably check out. You should probably check out the video about, the, something about the erosion of self-thought as well. You should probably do that. 100%. In other words, well, Waluigi only exists because two inversions also exist. You have Luigi, who is the shy version of Mario, and then you have Wario, which is the evil inverted version of Mario. They both exist of the main character, and it kind of makes sense in a way that it's the case. That's kind of what I'll be getting to a bit later as well. I'm just kind of setting up this point. But when you do the Wario thing to, like, Luigi, you get a parody or inversion of an inversion. They can't exist without either of the two. And they can't exist without Mario. And it's kind of the same way, in a sense, for, like, Sonic not being able to exist without, like, Mario as well. Like, in a way, Sonic is a somewhat version of Mario. No matter how much I love the silly blue bird and, silly rat, it's kind of the same. And, like, if there weren't genuine criticisms of, Mario, there would not be a Sonic. In other words, if Mario was 100% perfect, there wouldn't be a Sonic. You get what I mean, right? So, that kind of leads to another point I'd like to go and make, but we'll save that for a bit later. Just know that discussion gets borked nowadays. Because, like, not only are a whole bunch of kids also showing up to the platform for the first time, and who don't know how to talk to people, they like their phones too much, they got put on their phones since they happen to be kids. Their first experience happens to be from a toxic fan base, or, like, something they shouldn't be influenced by. which is kind of hard to not be influenced by the internet, and they kind of do these points as big gotcha moments because, like, they idolize Ben Shapiro and, like, other people who do idiotic things like that. Regardless of a political affiliation, man, like, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. So, yeah, that's kind of what I want to go and say, personally, about it. And what would I say about the effect it ends up having on people? Well, it makes things a whole lot dumber. We can go and, like, have our voices heard less because we are always divided half the time. The dumb fucking reasons. Like, we might agree on the same central thing, but how we agree on the central thing, it's what gets people freaking angry. Like, for example, I don't want to see AI take people's jobs. I don't want that to happen. And I assure a whole bunch of artists, and a whole bunch of AI artists, at the same time, the funny prompters, agree with me. Oh gosh, I gotta get some water before the next take. Either way, but what we end up arguing about is whether or not AI has a place in anything at all. Which, I hate to say it, but AI is already everywhere, man. Like, even before the generative AI stuff, we have algorithms entirely calculated using machine intelligence. So saying all of it should be gone, that everything should be done by a human because it has soul, is inherently, stupid, in a way. But at the same time, I don't agree with AI people saying that, well, AI is the obvious future, man. And they're just gotta go get with the times, and stop bashing us for, I don't know, being silly people, and barely trying with their work. Like, it goes both ways. Artists need to be less greedy and less, I don't know, chronically online in order to go make their side more heard. In a sense, make things cheaper, make things more affordable to average consumers, and that will essentially ruin the chance that an AI could just take their job. Meanwhile, the AI bros could just, like, I don't know, understand that perhaps that, these people do have a bit of a right because everything is kind of, like, brain-rotted in a sense, and these people believe that they could be affected, or they already have been affected, because, like, in a sense, it's sort of happening. You don't want that to go and be a bad. You don't want people to lose their jobs because, like, innovation and stuff. But the thing is, it's going to happen. I hate that I have to say this, but people will eventually lose their jobs or lose their industry. Because that's how time works. I know how we always want to go remain in a bubble, in a sense. I just talked about it, but sometimes it's gotta pop. It gotta pop. It's not gonna last forever. There's only so much stuff that goes in a bubble before it. And I would like the internet to kind of understand that a bit more. Understand that you aren't the only person that exists, and people appealing to you aren't the only viewpoints that exist. That's how you make intelligent decisions, and, you make your stuff less reliant on emotion. Because if you know more, and you understand more, you essentially have more general wisdom about the subject. If you do your due diligence, in a sense. So, in other words, you kind of want things to kind of become more intelligent, ask deeper questions, ask more open-ended questions that don't have an answer of "shut the fuck up, you happen to like this, so your opinion is invalid." Or x equals y, so therefore x must also equal c, despite nothing implying that y is also equal to c. You get what I mean? Dumb stuff like that. And I feel like it's like a massive part of yeah, sorry, I keep going on and on and on and on and on, but to put a classical example that I'm sure a lot of people in my audience can understand, Roblox and the idea of, balancing things. I've seen many games where the general popular opinion, because they're so used to the thing, has been, to keep it the same. Even if it happens to be really broken and unfair and uncool, they still will stick by it because it's all they've ever known, and they don't like to think outside of that tiny little bubble they made for themselves. They don't want to not win, in a sense, just like how people don't want to lose a debate. But then all of a sudden, people who come by saying that this should probably change, and it's like, what the fuck? No, don't change your thing. Hey, what are you, you stupid outside? And that's kind of the thing too. Outsiders do have a say in what happens sometimes in your community. If it's a really good point, you should be open to it. And for example, with the Star Platinum nerf-ish that ended up happening in the YBA, just some quality of life things that made them less powerful but still overall the same. Hey man, people got real fucking pissy because of that, because, now they have a sound cue. Oh, they go and tell whenever you're doing a fucking star finger, and, people are angry about it. People don't like change. It really, it's all that comes down to. People do not like change. I think we kind of arrived at the same point I did for, my other long-form video, but either way, I'll go and, talk about the next point now. See how you guys... But here's, the fundamental thing that kind of puts the previous point into perspective. You know how, people don't like change? Yeah, and how overall, also people kind of are a bit stupid, and in their own bubble, all of the time. We kind of like to go do that a lot within, artist communities and, other communities, gaming communities. Politics in general. Not a lot of people are actually creative. Shockingly low. Some people might have this, brilliant idea. And then it's coming into their head. Brilliant. Absolutely 100% wonderful. But because they don't know the technical know-how and all the crazy logistics that are going behind the thing, they can't exactly make it into, a reality. So a lot of that art just ends up going to die, in a sense. Because, hey, what the hell is this? It's nothing I know. Oh, what is this? They're fucking stupid, man. It's stupid. And that's how, most stuff ends up going. People don't kind of like when they end up being, put into, another thing. In a sense. If nothing is familiar about something, it's naturally gonna sound like a bunch of fucking gibberish. And it's would you imagine if Star Wars didn't even have any humans? If it was all, one crazy freaking space adventure, and, nothing was relatable. To it, no, allegories for, French things, or French resistance things during World War II, nothing about, Germany whatsoever. And, not even the thing about, articles, ships being the same. or just in space. What the fuck would that even be? You can't think of that. You can't. You legitimately can't. And that's the problem. Coming up with things from pure imagination, like out of shit that never even happened, it's rare as fucking balls. And even less people want to go and actually see that shit. Which is fucking disappointing, man. Like, gosh, I would love to go and see whatever people, randomly come up with that doesn't really make all that much sense. And I think we're getting to that point right about now, where it's coming to, like, be a thing, but I'm getting somewhere, trust me. A lot of art happens to be mostly renditions and copy is in their own style of like other people's work. It's like formative plagiarism in a sense, but not actually plagiarism because they didn't like draw the whole thing. And yet people still have a problem with that. But how are you supposed to go and like learn from most people if you don't practice drawing something? You don't use references. If you don't, like, use something from real life to go and make something in your story, to some extent, what the fuck are you doing? That's what a lot of people think. And that's how we sort of think, too. There's a good reason why exactly you end up seeing humans in every freaking story that ever exists. Even though it would probably be more original if we just, had a different species. That somewhat resembled humans. But not really. But that would be stupid, because then it'll be less relatable. And you don't... It's kind of like an odd study, in a sense. And... I hate to say this, but companies also know this damn well. They know that... or rather, creative teams know this. And they try to do the best they can with as little inspiration as possible, but it still seeps through. Like, to some extent, Indiana Jones is derivative off of something. Slightly derivative, maybe. Maybe... a little bit more, but nothing that's like 100% original. If you trace it far back enough, you can find an origin for it. And like you might say that, hey, Gilgamesh happens to be the one thing that happens to be the result of all these stories coming out, but really... There's probably, like, a tale about something that happened in, like, the Ice Age that people end up talking about a whole bunch. And that's how it spread in general, and nobody really credits them because, like, they didn't write their fucking name on it. It works the same way. If, you have it in, like, your own style that you learned from somebody else, but you don't, like, credit them for doing that? Because it's your own style, you do, like, your own shading and stuff, and, like, you do all the same things that everyone else does. How the fuck can anyone be angry at you for it? And that's what companies like to go and do. They sort of get teams to go do that. And people also like to do this too. But, however, people are funny, in a sense. They end up seeing this original idea that somebody took years to go and craft. Like, multiple revisions, multiple controversial ideas at the time. Or, like, design decisions that don't make any sense past that point. Like, before that point. But they work for this. And they'll see a, like, time for my new creation that is exactly the same as this. And it's less so an original work, more than it is, like, haha, funny stealing. Because the premise is exactly the same, the plot points are the same, the mechanics may be the same, the gameplay almost the same. The only difference is that they use different characters, different, like, they switch things up a tiny bit, and that's basically what it is. A take of something else, but legally distinct, so that people can't fucking sue them. And let me go tell you this, a lot of art happens to be exactly this. You know all those funny anime girls you keep seeing on, like, whatever website you go to go look at them? I guarantee you, a lot of fan art is fucking derivative. Really derivative. They're like one-to-one identical with, like, it's like some other style out there. Somebody made, like, this really cute, freaking merge of styles, right? They combine a whole bunch, and they make their own original style that makes sense for them. However, people happen to like this, and soon enough, it becomes the standard. Everybody is doing the same generic style. Now with slight modifications, slight, different shadowings or something. And it's just kind of a bit odd. And you see this a lot on the Roblox, everything on Roblox, really. Everything happens to be off somewhere. Like the part where I end up saying that, Anime Cross, it's effectively the godfather of all anime games. All, like, battle anime games. In a sense. Just like how, in a sense, Elemental Battlegrounds is as well. And Murder Mystery 2. Truthfully, things exist to iterate off of each other. The level of iteration depends on, how creative the person actually is. And that's where reference versus imagination kind of takes off. Some people can just draw without even thinking, which, damn. But most people aren't like that, a lot of people just like doing the same things because they're unoriginal and they can't think of a unique way to go do their idea. And it's a bit sad. But it's the honest truth. Like, you can't really fault a program for doing the same thing 90% of people just do anyway, but faster. Now, if all of a sudden the 10% happens to be affected by this process, then it's a serious fucking problem. But, I hate to say it, be more original, guys. Come on. You're just gotta be better than the AI, man. And come on, step it up. And I don't know if people would even like to hear me say this at all, really. It sounds like a asinine thing to go and think. To think, an asinine thing to say, but a lot of things in life are not really pretty picture perfect. There is a lot of gray area to a lot of things. What you might think is like 100% wrong, nobody should be doing it. There is somebody out there who's doing it anyway. Because fuck you. That's or well, that's one of the reasons either way. Either fuck you or they just want to do it. And some people, yeah, absolutely fucking put them onto the fucking torch. Yeah, I don't want no fucking pedophiles in my shit. Or, dog fuckers. But, hey, it's not like because we have arbitrary rules that we have to set for ourselves, or we happen to go be more lenient to people who maybe are a bit more like us, or or are better than us, or perhaps even just kind of existing because of a wholesome reason, but tainted by like corporate greed, which kind of happens a lot, and those derivatives do come from corporate a lot of the time. Either corporate people or corporate entities. We just kind of have this weird mindset where, on top of everything devolving into, shit-eating contest, we also kind of think that everyone is in the same weight class. Which is true, by the way. If anyone does try hard enough, they can get to the levels that, they see on these anime art websites. It's just that not a lot of people, are resilient enough to go and do that. And the people who are resilient enough to go and do that, I'm not saying it's hard or anything, just that it takes a lot of time. It's a time sink. They get a little cuckoo when it turns out that their unemployment profession isn't exactly profitable anymore. Just like I'm sure that it's going to happen to AI people too. It's going to happen, and people are just going to wonder, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Well, the same thing you have been doing, dumbass. Just that, it's illegal now. And, we'll just kind of spin those crooks and retroactive stuff, and people just finally switch up. Because people love switching up when it comes to things that could potentially scare them. Like, let me go put this into, like, an example that a lot of people can understand. If, for example, there was a game everyone loved. It was really good team, they really cared about everyone. But it turns out the guy who happened to write the initial concept turns out to be, like, a really fucking bad person. Like they committed genocide somewhere. Like, you're gonna have to get him out of the team, but then does that bring the question in of, was the idea ever good? Because this guy happened to be a bad apple and and like ruin it for everyone else? No. What they put to the table, unless it's inherently problematic, like it's entirely something fetish related or something along that nature, it's still a piece of art. You can't take away that value because something you didn't like happened to be a part of the process. If somebody sees meaning in something, if somebody understands something, if if it has like a deeper meaning or anything that could remotely be pleasure out of it, it's still art. It might be a degree in variation of art, but it's still art. But then, would your dreams be art if you happen to be enjoying them? If they aren't art, are they nightmares? Or it's AI generating nightmares? Nightmare fuel, because some people think, yeah, it does happen. Sorry, I had to go drink my water for a second. Either way, say if you happen to be drawing something you saw in a dream, but your dream happened to be like really, really blurry, well, you can't exactly like do it in a sense. Does that make the dream less art, or does it make it more art that you can't replicate? That's the big question. That is really the big question. But here's the thing. But. Hey, if you happen to think, yeah, all those are art. Everything is, everything made by a human, it's art. Okay, then, let me go. What do you think about AI? Sorry, not AI. I'm sorry, we got the discussion mixed up again. What do you think about all those gambling games that's up on, like, Roblox, or, like, the App Store, or, like, Google Play, or any game that really does not need them? Or loot boxes, or manipulative tactics, anything like that. If they have those, are they a game? Or are they just casinos? Some people might think they're still games because you technically can play them. It'll be excruciating to go and, do that. Some people would argue that, they are casinos because, sure, you might get some returns, but, like, you get money. But, you pay money, you lose money, and, you can't get the shit back. It's like a rental in a sense. You lose your freaking, casino token after, you leave. Or when you cash it out. That's something to think about. Just something to go and, like, deeply think about. And another thing I'd like to go and say, because, like, I know I already did my promoting thing, like, at the very beginning of the video, too. If an idea happens to be about, it's a really good idea, it's all fleshed out, it's all there, ready for you to go. Somebody took their time to go and consider everything, potentially. Hey, but it doesn't have, like, any footage of it. And, being developed. Is it immediately a scam? Or is it something that could potentially be good? We just end up kind of defaulting to scam because, well, people can be a bit lazy at times. We don't like to look into things. We don't like to implore, perhaps, and find telltale signs it's a scam. But we just sort of assume it is because, like, yeah. And again, no bubble. The bubble. Don't forget the bubble. I talk about this a lot in another video. Just... If you want to go search it out, you absolutely can. And I think it's like the Quiet Game Developers. Everything is, yeah. You understand? No, wait, no. I don't think you understand what I mean. What the fuck am I talking about? So, in a sense, you got this. Cool. Okay, I'm losing my train of thought, and honestly, like, what the fuck, man? So, okay, let's go wrap it up then. Basically, the combination of these two elements, the erosion of free thought, and constructive thought, and also that we somehow decide what is not art, what is, and all kinds of things like that. Also, us being not as creative as, say, some other people are. Just overall things I'd like to go and think about. Just think about it for a moment. I have one last thing for you, just pay close attention, okay? But how are both of these together a problem? Well, it's simple. Companies and greedy people can extort us for as much as they want, and as long as they give us exactly what we want to hear, what we really want to be the case, and they want to make it sound like they're going to make it a reality, we'll just buy into it. Because it's much better than critically thinking about what exactly is on Roblox, what exactly is on other platforms, how we're acting on Twitter, and essentially a whole bunch of other things. We don't want to actually think about it. So we get tricked into thinking about pseudo-intellectual things by, companies that put slogans or factually wrong information in our heads. Or, intentionally skewed information in our heads. So they get more money. It's simple. It's all a ploy for money. You know the cautionary tale that somebody made a light bulb that never went out in the 50s. He was a really nice dude. He wanted to go make something cool, so he made something really neat. Mr. Big Light Bulb of 1984 style comes in. They want to go buy the patent rights to it for $1 million or $5 million. He says yes, because that is a lot of money, and a lot of people just kind of have dopamine hits right then and there when you start talking about money. Or they get really money-minded when you start talking about money. In general. You know what they did? They locked the thing in a fucking vault, never to be touched. Straight up. We could have had, light bulbs that lasted forever. Maybe cause some nuclear radiation to us, but, they last forever. All because, corporate greed. I guarantee you. Yeah, corporate greed is how come we do not have things as good as we had in the 2000s. And we just kind of, well, this is the new standard, guys. Because everybody wants to be a YouTuber. Everybody wants to be a Twitch streamer. Everybody wants to be a Kick streamer. Everybody wants to be a streamer. Everybody wants to be an OnlyFans model. Everybody wants to be a game developer. But only a few of us really do have that skill. Fuck! I'm biting my tongue. Whew. You see what I mean about not having a script? It can be a bit rough. But I do it anyway because it's part of the fucking skit. All of that. Only a few people can actually do that. Really. Only a select minority of people are the best suited for those jobs. Everyone else is just like, well, fuck it! And we ball and just like, hey, like, well, if we work on it hard enough and like don't understand anything we're doing, but we know how to do it, we'll just do it, right? We'll just do it. We'll make Tetris 2. We'll make, I don't know, Elden Ring 2. If you just happen to know technical stuff hard enough. Nothing like, oh, house tricks. But if you aren't fucking creative to begin with, if we're like, knowledgeable enough to begin with, your idea is like dead in the fucking water for it to be really great. At most, it can be good. Which is alright for a lot of people. We live in a day of like, well, everything has to be immediate, right? Everything gotta be now. We want streaming now. We want to play the game now. We want no issues. We want all the bells and whistles. And we get fleeced out of our money by wanting all those things. You see what I mean? We, in a way, happen to be a bit greedy. Companies are even greedier. Because like, there are a bunch of people who are just as greedy. But hold into, like, the ultimate goblins. The investors. Or rather, just greedy people on Roblox. Or just Roblox themselves, honestly. So if you were to take anything away from this, like, hour of just, like, fucking around and just, talking to you about things. And biting my tongue. Don't fall into the pit traps of being an idiot. Because that's how a company, an individual, or person can control you. That's how you get groomed. That's how you you become a corporate slave. That's how you end up defending the billion-dollar corporation that does nothing wrong, apparently. And I ain't gonna lie, once you hit the billion-dollar range, every corporation has done something fucking shit. Every single one. And all of them deserve to be called out for it. But is it your right to go and defend that kind of shit? No! If anything, criticism is good. Very, very good. It helps people grow, it helps things grow, and proactive action makes things better. Not reactive action. We like to react. Funny face reveal, react meme, tong 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 sahor. But it's not like that. We gotta be smarter. We gotta be smarter, guys. We gotta you gotta beat the game. You can't lose the game here. You can't lose the game. You can't. Or you'll lose a whole bunch of money and end up in debt. All those people that end up in university because people kept telling them that'll be the best thing for them, but really it isn't because they don't know what the fuck to do in the first place. It's just a money pit. Money pit. Everybody wants us in a money pit. So, be grateful when it turns out to be somebody else isn't trying to swindle you out of your money. Or, heck knows, if there can be money out of time as well. Do things because it'll be good for others, good for yourself. And overall, just be a respectable person. Be the best you can be. Don't worry about what other people try to make you. Well, that kind of also applies to me, but forget about that for a moment. And overall, I just kind of want more discussion, smartness, or, let's, I don't know, brain rot in, our own heads. So if you happen to go and agree, I don't know, maybe like the video or something, or like, I don't know, comment, share it with your friends, whatever you really wish on it. But I'm probably gonna do some shorts to go help it, get it seen too, just for the sake of like, making sure more people end up hearing about this. So I think it's important. Okay, that's pretty much it. All I want to go and say.